Spinning like a broken record. For a player, you don't know that many major chords. We hang out and then you get bored, and you leave me here like I'm your landlord. You come back and say I'm sorry, boo, and I know you never mean it, gets you in though. Did you call me 'cause you had to?
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by OMOBOLA STEPHEN. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by OMOBOLA STEPHEN. Live life. Live fully.
Hello, once again, my name is OMOBOLA STEPHEN, and welcome to Live Well Live by OMOBOLA STEPHEN. On today's show, I have a guest with me who is a mindset and personal development coach. She's Stephanie McNeal. Now, I used to think forgiveness meant erasing past wrongs and superimposing happier memories. I had been looking forward to someone who could talk extensively on this all-important topic of all time. Forgiveness. So does forgiveness means forgetting? That's my question. And I know that my guest on today's show is going to shred this topic to pieces. This and more I'll be discussing on my show today. And so I have a guest with me, Stephanie McNeal. Welcome on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. And I think this is my first international interview. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. So can you tell me about yourself and what you do?
So I am a forgiveness coach. I am a podcast host, a speaker, and an author who is now thriving after infidelity in marriage and also being newly single. And it was, in fact, the infidelity that I experienced that shaped, molded, and was a catalyst and continues to be a catalyst for growth in my life. It really helped to illuminate my destiny. And now it's my passion and my pleasure to see people bounce back from traumatic experiences like that and stressful things that happen in life and even in their childhood. Forgive those things and those people that hurt you, because I believe that forgiveness is necessary to live out your God-given purpose. And That's the reason why I help people go from heartbreak to happy, so that ultimately they grow and have the power and the passion to be free to love.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you. So can we talk about forgiveness?
Yeah. There's so many misconceptions about what it is and what it isn't. Many people believe that if you forgive, that means nothing to happen. They think that you're supposed to forget. And they believe that if you forgive, that you're opening yourself up to hurt again. Because, a lot of times we want to get revenge. Right. We don't want anybody to get anything over us. And it means that you just press down and push down your feelings. But it really does not mean that. I believe that forgiveness means that when you are unjustly hurt, that you forgive when you overcome the resentment towards the offender, not the fact that you deny your right to the resentment, but you offer, get ready for this, okay? Because I'm going to tell you, the first time that I learned it and I heard about it, I closed the book, okay? It's being able to offer the offender compassion, benevolence, and love. And that when you give that, you realize that the offender does not deserve it, but it's an actual act of mercy and a gift that you give that person.
Right. Thank you so much for that. So, very interesting. So how is it easy to practice forgiveness?
You say, is it easy?
Yeah, how is it easy to practice forgiveness? It's always like, oh, I forgive, or you need to forgive him, you need to forgive her. How easy is it? Is it that easy?
You know what? It's easy to say it, right? because I believe that forgiveness is a daily conscious choice. So it's easy to say it, okay? It's easy to grant it. But the hard part is giving up the resentment, is giving up the anger, giving up the desire to revenge. You know, it's all of that other stuff. It's easy to forgive. But what I would like for everyone to know is that acknowledgement, making that decision is the first step. And so after you make that decision, then there are some steps, there's some work that you need to do in order to make it real, in order to make it stick, in order to make it so you no longer have any negative thoughts, feelings, or actions towards that person.
Right. Thanks so much. So in some situations like a brutal rape, like a brutal rape, it's hard to imagine putting aside thoughts of anger or revenge and replacing them with the the gifts of love and mercy. So can you share your knowledge on this? Because I believe that there are some extreme cases where you find it very difficult to forgive people, especially when it comes to rape issue. And for the fact that you even know the person that raped you, or probably you're seeing the person around. So is it that really easy for you to offer that olive branch of compassion and mercy to that person?
Right. Yeah. You know, that is something that is horrendous. It's very difficult. It's very hurtful. And initially, that is probably the last thing on earth that a person would acknowledge, that they want to forgive someone that would do something so horrific, so evil, so vile, so violating of your own personal right. So let me just say that. However, once you get over the shock of it, you make sure that your body is free of any kind of infection, just whatever you need to do to take care of your health. You also need to be concerned and thinking about your mental and your emotional health. And I absolutely recommend to get professional help. Okay. You must get professional help. However, I would recommend, once you have gotten over to a certain point, and everybody knows that point in their own life, right?
That's right.
There has to become a time where you let it go, because a grudge is the heaviest thing to carry. The heaviest thing to carry.
That's right. Talking about this handling the brutal rape, when you have someone who has raped you, and so you think is it that easy for you to offer that olive branch of forgiveness, mercy, and compassion to the person? So you were discussing about it.
Yeah, no, it's nothing easy. You know, if something like that happens, it's extremely traumatic. I could not imagine what a person would think about, how they would feel, the shame that is associated with it. But what I will say is that definitely, if you experience something like that, get professional help. You need to process all of that pain, all of that hurt, and that evil that took place in your life. You have to process that. You cannot carry that, because a grudge is the heaviest thing to carry. But I would also ask you to consider, once you've gotten over it and once some time has you've distanced yourself from it, that you consider forgiveness, because it's going to hold you back. That's the type of deep trauma that it does literally change your life. However, it doesn't have to change your life forever.
That's right.
And I'm a Christian, right? So I believe in Christian beliefs. And even though whatever that happened was awful, I do believe that all things work together for good. Just like in the infidelity that I suffered for many years. That was a horrible thing to happen, right? By somebody that I loved, that I, had my children with and all of that. However, for as long as I hold on to that unforgiveness, that only holds me in bondage. That
That's
only
right.
limits me in what I can
That's
do
right.
with my life, because my ex-husband is living his own life.
That's right.
You know,
Brilliant.
so it affects you. You know what? Let me tell you something that I recently, well, I knew it, but I have even more understanding about resentment. Resentment, there's two things about resentment. Okay, so let's just say that you're raped, right? So it is right for you to resent what happened to you, right? It is not right for you to become a resentful person. Because then what happens is that your identity changes.
That's
and
right.
so when your identity changes, that changes the whole trajectory of your life.
That's
And
right.
so then you are offering that offender, the person that did that evil to you, to have control over your life. And so you have to take back your power.
That's right. Brilliant. That's right. Brilliant. So how can you juxtapose forgiveness and forgetting? Which is more important?
Yeah. Okay. So say in the case of the rape, there's no way if you're raped that you can forget that, right? So forgiveness is not forgetting. I don't agree with people that say you forgive and forget. No, this is what you do with forgiveness. You say, let's just say, you're the person that was raped. You say, yes, that happened to me. Yes, it hurt me and it nearly destroyed me. However, as an act of mercy, I choose to let it go. I remember it. It was wrong. It continues to be wrong. It will forever be wrong that you did that to me. But I defy what you did to me and I let it go because I choose me. I choose happiness for me. I choose freedom for me. I choose joy for me. I will not allow you to destroy my life. And so that's what forgiveness does. It looks in the face of evil and said, yeah, you did it. Yes, it hurt. I remember it. I'll never forget it, but I choose to let it go. And I choose to live my life free.
That's right. Thanks you for that. So if you've forgiven someone for their wrongs, is it right to continue relationships with them?
See, that's a really good question. And a lot of times people get really hung up on this because here's the thing. And even I thought forgiveness meant reconciliation. Forgiveness and reconciliation are two different things.
Two different things. That's right.
Yeah, because reconciliation involves mutuality. You can't reconcile with someone who has never admitted that what they did was wrong. You can't reconcile with someone who doesn't think that they did anything right, or they didn't offer you an apology. They didn't offer any retribution. They didn't offer any atonement. They didn't offer anything. So you also have a right to forgive, not reconcile, because of the boundaries that you need for your life to be healthy, to be whole, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. So no, reconciliation and forgiveness are two different things. I forgive you. I love you, but I can't allow you into my life.
Life again. So you need to define that. That's very important. Thank you so much. So I know that some people would say, oh, for the sake of friendship, for the sake of peace, we will still be friends. Some people say that. So is it worth pretending, right? Something hurts you. This person is not meant to be in my life. Is it worth pretending, or is it wise to be real and say, I don't want this person and I don't want him? That's just it. So which do you advise?
That's a tough one when it comes to relationships and everything. But I believe that in order to have real, true, authentic relationships, you need to have a way to communicate that. Because if you don't, you're going to build up brick after brick after brick after brick. And soon you're going to have a wall of resentment. And something's going to happen to topple that wall over. So I don't think it's real healthy. It's hard though, because we don't want to offend, we don't hurt people's feelings. And another thing we don't want to do, we don't want to tell somebody else, you hurt my feelings by what you did or what you said. However, if you want to be real in a relationship and not have to walk on eggshells and not have to, just to be free in a relationship, it's a necessary thing, though it's not hard. And what I think happens is that people in general have not learned how to handle conflict, have in a healthy way, in a positive way.
Right.
So we have to create an atmosphere in our relationships for that. And if you can't have that, then it's like, is this really my friend? If you're not honoring me, if I'm not honoring you, is that really a friend?
Great
is
question.
that a relationship that I want to be in?
Great question. Great question. So it's been Lawali by OMOBOLA Stephen. And so I've been having a discussion with Stephanie McNeal. Stephanie McNeal is a mindset and personal development coach. She's also a forgiveness coach and a podcast author. And so Stephanie, can you talk about someone who is a guilt sufferer and finding it hard to practice forgiveness? How possible is that? Because I know that being, guilt, worry, all these things are negative emotions also, and they can also destroy our life. And so how is it for the person to be able to practice forgiveness on his or herself?
Well, like I said earlier, it is a conscious daily thought. You really have to be intentional about it, because what happens is that, I have committed to having, as a forgiveness coach, I'm called, right, to practice forgiveness. Right. But I'm telling you, it is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. And it's such a subtle thing. Like just yesterday, I was in my exercise class, right? And so the trainer always partners us up. And I work out very early in the morning, so sometimes I might be half asleep or whatever, or, I don't really want to talk to anybody because I haven't had my coffee and all of that, So the trainer gave out the instructions about how we were supposed to do this exercise. So we were supposed to start at 10, and then the next round we did 8 and 7, all this stuff. And so we were like switching back and forth with the partner, right? So I didn't hear that we were supposed to be counting down, right? So my partner, the second round, I said 10 again. And she goes, oh, we're supposed to be doing 8. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were counting down. Okay. So I got it now, right? I got it. That's okay. Right. I'm smart. That's I got it. So when it came around again, she goes, now it's 6. I said, okay. I just ignored it the first time. Then the second time she goes, now it's 4. I said, hold on. I said, wait a minute. I got it now. But I tell you, I had to fight my internal dialogue to not be nasty to her.
That's right.
That's to not be offended. And
that's right.
It's a daily conscious choice, because we get opportunities every single day for people to offend us. It's just, how am I going to respond to this? How do I want to live? Do I want to be in peace or in bondage? Do I want to be authentic or in jail? Like which one, so it's really a daily conscious thought.
That's right. So does it mean that if someone offends, or if you feel like, extricating your pent-up feelings, sometimes they're hurting, doesn't mean because you want to practice forgiveness, you shouldn't be able to extricate, your pent-up feelings to the other person because you just want to be genuine or you want to be real. I think that, being real also entails you opening up and letting the other person know this is how you feel, and, having healthy relationships and healthy conversations. So I think that also needs to be open. So what do you say to that?
Yeah. It really depends on the person, because I believe just like you in authenticity, right? But there are some people that are just not going to receive what you're saying because of what it is that's going on with them. Yeah. Okay. And so in that case, I would try to think of other ways, like maybe wait for the right timing. Maybe schedule some time, or maybe you got a question. Do I want to be, maybe you take a break from that person, right? And then ultimately you got to decide, is this a person that I want to be in relationship with if I can't be free to talk and express myself? I know for me, I want to honor everybody and I want people to honor me by my feelings. Now, I might not want to, you know, I might not want to. However, if I want that kind of reciprocity, then I need to receive it and I need to give it, you know? So that's the thing. A lot of times we want to give it out, but we can't receive it. And so it takes a lot of maturity. It takes practice. It takes vulnerability. It takes humility. All of that stuff.
Right.
We got to grow up, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you so much. Do you have any projects you're working on presently?
Well, right now I am working on my book. It's called The Free to Love Book, How Forgiveness Healed Me from Broken Pieces to Masterpiece. And that's masterpiece, like P-E-A-C-E. And it is my goal to release that book January of 2021. And so I would love it if you guys can connect with me. I have a podcast as well. And I can be found everywhere at freed2love.com. That's FREED, the number 2 love.com.
All right. Thank you so much. So do you have any parting word?
Just what I've said earlier, forgiveness is a daily conscious choice. But I promise you, the freedom that you get, the power that you get, and the ability to walk in your purpose is worth it. It's worth it, and you're worth it.
That's right. Thank you so much once again, Stephanie McNeal, for coming to the show. I believe that some other time, you know, we can do this again.
I would love that. Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. And so it's been Lawali by OMOBOLA Stephen. So till I come here with some other time, I need to stay safe always. It's bye for now. Ciao.